Hey, it's Annemarie with Speak Confident English. This is exactly where you want to be to get the confidence you want for your life and your work in English. If you have a job interview in English or a job performance review, there are some words you should definitely be using in English to talk about your business traits and to do it successfully, to help you in those situations, and to celebrate Female Entrepreneur Day, which is on November 19th. I've got a list of 10 business traits that we value and love talking about in English. And the good news is these are all traits that you can learn and improve. Then at the end, I've got one thing that you absolutely must do if you're going to talk about one of these traits in a job interview or performance evaluation. I'll tell you exactly what that is and give you the opportunity to practice. Plus, I want to hear from you which one of these traits describes you best. Let's get right to it with 10 successful business traits in English, what they mean, some common synonyms that you can use instead, and example sentences for how to use them. Number 1 is driven. Someone who is driven is motivated by hard work and success. Nothing can stand in their way. Here are a few alternative words or synonyms that you could use, such as highly motivated or success-oriented. And I've got an example for you. I'm a highly driven person who loves to succeed. When I have a goal or a responsibility, I do everything I need to accomplish it, and I don't let anything stand in my way. Number 2 is to be resilient. When someone is resilient, they have the ability to adjust or adapt to change and challenges. It doesn't mean that it's easy to adapt or that it happens quickly, but you can do it. For example, when something goes terribly wrong at work, do you usually panic and freeze, or do you calm yourself down, focus, and think about an alternative strategy or some way to adapt and still achieve your goal? One of my favorite ways to talk about someone who is resilient is to use the ability to bounce back from something. If you're able to bounce back from life's challenges or life's problems, you are a resilient person. And here's an example sentence. My daughter is never afraid of risks, and no matter what happens in life, she always recovers. She's super resilient. The third successful business trait for today is confidence, which is something we are all about at Speak Confident English. And here's the good news about confidence. It is something you can learn. This is what I do every day. I work with students who feel like it's impossible to be confident in English, to be fluent, or to feel comfortable in the language. And every day, I help students learn to do all of that. So if you're afraid that confidence is something you don't have, it's absolutely something you can learn. But what is confidence? Confidence is feeling self-assured or being sure of yourself. It doesn't mean that you always know the solution. It doesn't mean that things are easy or that you don't feel nervous. All of those things still happen, but you believe that you will find a way. You will be able to figure it out. To be self-assured is a great synonym to use, and here's an example. When it comes to challenges at work or learning a new skill, I have confidence that my professional abilities will help me figure it out. Number 4 is decisive, the ability to make decisions. Someone who is decisive is also able to look at a lot of details or information and make wise judgments and act on that judgment. Successful professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs absolutely need to be decisive. For some of us, it's not always easy. I'm not naturally a decisive person, but I've definitely learned to do that. Here are a couple of great synonyms, and an example sentence is, As a team leader, it's absolutely necessary to be decisive and help the team move forward, especially in times of difficulty. Number 5 is to be a self-starter. Now, I can't speak for all English speakers around the world, but I can say that most Americans really value someone who is a self-starter. This is someone who takes the initiative. They don't wait for other people to do something. If they see a problem, they figure out a solution to it. They do the work that is necessary. A great alternative to a self-starter is a go-getter, or someone who is ambitious. An example sentence is, many small businesses and startups look for employees who are self-starters. Our 6th successful business trait is to be a risk taker. In other words, to be someone who is willing to take a risk and do something that is uncertain in order to achieve your goal. Being willing to take risks doesn't mean you do things without thinking about them first. You still do your research and you assess or evaluate the potential consequences. And you know that sometimes you have to do things that are a little scary in order to reach the success that you want. An example sentence would be, many entrepreneurs and small business owners would describe themselves as risk takers. I would add that my Fluency School students are risk takers. They don't think that they are, but they are. Because in Fluency School, I definitely challenge them to do things that are scary and uncertain, but they do them so that they achieve their goal, which is confidence and fluency in English. Number 7 is to have a strong work ethic. This is someone who believes in the value of hard work and they're not afraid of it. This one might be a little similar to a self-starter. It's someone who is not afraid to do the hard work. If they see a challenge or a problem, they're going to find a solution and do the work that is necessary to accomplish it. And here's my example sentence. Growing up, I was definitely taught to have a strong work ethic. As an adult, I'm really grateful that my parents taught me that skill because it has helped me have a successful career. Number 8 is open-minded, someone who will consider the different perspectives or ideas of others. They're not focused on just one possibility. This is definitely a positive trait in a team leader or a business manager because it means that you have someone who is going to listen to what you have to offer and listen to your ideas. So a great example sentence might be, I appreciate that my boss is open-minded and always willing to listen to my ideas. Number 9 is to be a visionary. This is someone who has the big picture and can strategize how to reach that end goal, even if it's really far into the future. It's also someone who can identify potential future challenges and opportunities for a company. And a good example, every company definitely needs someone who is the visionary and able to see where the company's going. And finally, number 10, to be passionate. Successful business professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs definitely need to have passion for their work. Because when you are in that kind of position, it will require that you work very long hours, that you do things you don't really want to do, and sometimes you do all of that with very little reward. So it's important to feel passionate about what you do. One of my favorite expressions for talking about something that you're passionate about is to be in flow, or to be in a flow state. What this means is that you completely forget about the world, about time, about all the other distractions in life when you're working on something that you're really passionate about or that you love. Some people also talk about being in the zone. My example sentence is, I'm definitely in flow when I'm teaching in the classroom with my students. I never notice the time and I feel 100% energized. I'm curious, when do you feel in flow? Are there parts of your job or aspects of your work that you're strongly passionate about and you forget about everything else when you're doing it? I'd love to know when you're in flow. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, these are fantastic traits to talk about in a job interview or a performance evaluation. But there's one extra thing you need to do. If you are going to say that you're a decisive person or that you have a strong work ethic, you absolutely need a story to show how you are decisive or how you have a strong work ethic. In a job interview, it's not enough to say that I'm a decisive person or I'm a self-starter. Your interviewer wants to have proof that that is a trait. So definitely think about your past, your history in your career, and find a story that illustrates or shows how you've been decisive or when have you taken initiative in your job. That little tip is absolutely essential in a successful job interview in English. In fact, in my Confident Job Interviews course, we talk a lot about how to do this well in English. So if you've got a job interview coming up, definitely check that out. Before we end today, I want to give you the opportunity to practice. Choose one of these traits that best describes you and use it in an example sentence. Share it with me below so I can help you perfect that sentence. With that, if you found this lesson helpful to you, I would love to know. And you can tell me in 3 different ways. Number 1, give this video a thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe to this channel so you never miss one of my Confident English lessons. Number 2, you can share it with friends and colleagues on Facebook. And number 3, you can email it to someone else who you know could definitely use this list to help them in a job interview or performance evaluation. With that, thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time for your Confident English lesson.